Have you ever had that feeling of a big change in your life? As if you were waking up to better understand who you are and how the world works? Spiritual awakening is like a special adventure. It's not a straight road, it's more like a curly snail. Some of us go step by step, others skip, and each journey is unique. Helping someone understand what stage they're at in their spiritual awakening is like looking inside yourself. It's when our thoughts and feelings control everything without us realizing it. The person identifies a lot with these thoughts and feelings, thinking they are part of themselves. The ego, like a voice inside us, calls the shots and doesn't leave much room for us to understand that we are different from our thoughts and feelings. Sometimes it seems that life is already planned out and that we can't change anything. When bad things happen, we feel we have no control. You get so caught up in your own story that you think life only happens to you, and you don't realize that you can do things to change it. At the beginning of the journey to spiritual awakening, the person realizes that they are too stuck in their way of thinking, confusing what is themselves with what is outside of them. It's as if they are asleep to true life. It's important to realize this and start thinking in a freer way in order to understand life better. When we're growing up and learning about the world, we may encounter something called a spiritual awakening. It's like a journey within ourselves where we discover who we really are. Sometimes on this journey, we go through a phase called ego death. This doesn't mean that we actually die, but rather that we let go of the things we thought defined us, such as our age, where we come from and what we believe in. It's like peeling layers off an onion, one by one. This may seem daunting at first, but it's an important step for us to understand ourselves better. Sometimes, when we're growing up, we can feel that everything we thought about life, God, and religion disappears. This can leave us with a strange feeling, as if we were in a great void. But when that happens, something special happens inside us. We discover a space within ourselves where we can see things in a new way. It's as if we have a bright light inside us that helps us better understand who we are. Sometimes, when we are growing up, we may realize that there is a part of us that observes and senses everything that happens around us. We call this part the observing self. It sits quietly, just observing, without getting involved in the stories our mind tells. As we grow up, we begin to realize that what we think about ourselves, our stories and ideas, isn't necessarily who we really are. It's like a story we tell ourselves, but it's not the whole story. When we understand this, we start to see things differently. We can explore more about who we really are and what lies beyond the stories we tell ourselves. This leads us to a search for something we call truth. In this search, we want to understand more about ourselves and the world around us. We want to discover the mysteries of life and understand our existence in a deeper way. It's as if we're going on a great adventure, exploring the different layers of life and reality. It's exciting to discover more about who we are and what's out there. Sometimes people want to understand more about themselves and the world around them. To do this, they look for different things, such as books on spirituality, advice from wise people, and videos that talk about deep things. They do this because they want to discover who they are, why they are here, and what the meaning of life is. It's not just something they want to understand in their heads, but something they feel in their hearts. They then immerse themselves in spiritual practices, such as meditation or prayer, to help them on this journey of discovery. It's like they're exploring a big map, trying to find their way to a place full of clarity and purpose. Sometimes, when we want to feel more connected to something bigger than ourselves, we can do things like meditate, think deeply, pray, or even listen to our inner feelings. This helps us to feel calmer and to better understand the things around us. As we do these things, we can discover books or stories that make us feel special inside. Each time we learn something new, we feel lighter and more connected to something beautiful and special. At this stage of life, something very special happens. We start to be more ourselves. This means we no longer have to pretend to be someone we're not. Sometimes we pretend to act a certain way because we think that's what others expect of us. But there comes a time when we realize that we don't need that anymore. We feel that it's okay to be exactly who we are, without pretending to be different just to please others. This can seem a little daunting at first, because we're used to following society's rules and expectations. But when we start to be true to ourselves, we feel freer and happier. At this stage of life, we sometimes discover something very special: who we really are. It's like going back to how we were when we were younger, before we learned all of society's rules and expectations. Remember how you were when you were little? You were yourself, without worrying about what other people thought. It's as if we're going back to being like that, being true to ourselves, without trying to be who others want us to be. Sometimes, when we start to be more true to ourselves, we feel that we can no longer hide what we really want. We may make important decisions, such as changing jobs, thinking about our friends and family differently, or changing things in our lives to be more authentic. This can make us feel a bit restless, as if we're throwing out old things to make room for new and exciting things. It can also help us heal old emotional wounds, so that we can be happier and healthier inside. Sometimes when we're growing up, things from the past can come back into our minds to be understood and left behind. We can feel many different emotions, as if we were on a roller coaster of feelings. We get used to new energies around us. We may have things like strange dreams or feel like we know things before they even happen. As we go through these experiences, we begin to better understand who we are and how the world works. It's like tuning into a radio station to hear the music of life better. At this stage, it means that we feel good about who we are and the world around us. It's not just about being true to ourselves, but also feeling connected to everything around us. It's as if all the pieces of life's puzzle fit together perfectly. We know who we are inside and feel a special connection with our mind, body, and soul. It's like living in harmony with the universe. When we understand who we really are inside, we learn to be kind to ourselves. This means that we treat ourselves with love and compassion, as we would a friend who is having a difficult day. We also learn to be kind to others around us. We know that each person has their own journey in life and is doing the best they can with what they know so far. This helps us to forgive others' mistakes and to be understanding. At this stage, we also learn to take care of ourselves in the same way that a parent takes care of a child. This means that we give ourselves the support and love we need to grow and be happy. In life, we learn to love ourselves very much, no matter what. This helps us to feel good and happy inside. When we love like this, we also learn to be kind to others around us. This makes us have good relationships with people. But that's not all. We also learn to love and respect the world around us. We know that we are all connected: the trees, the animals, the air, the earth, and even things that aren't alive. This makes us feel part of something big and special, like one big family. Living in harmony means seeing the beauty and light in everything around us. But it also means understanding and accepting that not everything is always perfect. This doesn't make us think badly of things, but helps us to understand that each part, good or not so good, is part of life and helps us to grow. If you like this video, you might want to share it with someone you like. And if you like, you can share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Until next time.